They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, and they crucified him. Dividing up his clothes, they cast lots to see what each would get. It was 9 a.m. when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." At noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And at 3 p.m, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you forsaken me?" With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. And when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus saw how he died, he said, "Surely this man was the Son of God."
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
There is something wrong with my husband. He came home from work last night and he's deeply troubled. I don't know what's going on. I've never seen him like this before. He's one of Governor Pilate's soldiers from the execution squad. I know he's done lots of different forms of punishment, including many crucifixions. this one has him troubled. I don't even know how to help him. He keeps muttering, we killed the Son of God. I don't even know what that means. Yesterday's events, they have him deeply troubled. He said the man was a Jew. He wasn't even sure really what the man's crime was. They're usually told, oh, this guy was a murderer, or this guy stole a bunch of sheep, or whatever it is, but they weren't told what this Jesus man had done. My husband said that when he showed up at work yesterday, the courtyard was full. There were so many people there. There was such a commotion. He thought it was about Barabbas, because Barabbas was supposed to be executed. Nobody liked Barabbas. He had wronged a lot of people, and so there was quite an outcry for justice to be served, and that was supposed to be that day. But he said the oddest thing happened. There was this man, Jesus, this Jewish man, and for some reason the crowds were turned against him. Even Pilate thought it was bizarre. My husband said Pilate tried to release him and the crowds would have no part of it. In fact, they ordered for Barabbas to be released. Barabbas! I don't know what this Jesus man did, but he sure had a lot of enemies. From what I can figure, some of them were fairly powerful. But that wasn't the part that really troubled my husband. It was Jesus himself. Before Pilate released Barabbas, he thought maybe if he tortured Jesus, the crowds would be satisfied and they would let this man go, because Pilate couldn't even figure out what he had done wrong. So Pilate had him flogged. My husband was part of that group. He didn't actually do the flogging, but he was, on guard in case the prisoner tried to escape. But he said in every case he's ever watched, they always beg for mercy. They always cry out and ask for this flogging to stop. And they beg. But Jesus didn't. And they kept hitting him. My husband said it actually went a little too far. 40 flogs. And he never cried out. He never asked for them to stop. He just kept taking the hit. My husband said it was very bizarre. He said, I don't know of anyone who's ever had that kind of courage. And if that wasn't enough, when it came time to crucify him, my husband said this is the part that troubles him the most. He said behind that battered up face, he could see the eyes of Jesus, and he doesn't normally ever look at the prisoner when he's hammering the nail. But something made him look at Jesus. And he said that there was a kindness. Jesus' eyes locked with his, and there was a kindness in the eyes of Jesus. A man about to be crucified, about to die. And he looked at my husband with kindness. No wonder he's shaken today. It's not easy to forget a look like that. But then the other thing that happened that had him equally troubled was that Jesus said something. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgive them. My husband said he's been called a lot of things, and he's been cursed at, and he's never had a prisoner look at him and offer forgiveness. Why would he need forgiveness? He wasn't the one on the cross. Whatever was going on, this Jesus man has really stirred up some emotions in my husband. I don't know whether this guy's the Son of God or not. But there were some other really strange things that happened. It was the middle of the day, and it went pitch black. I don't just mean in the middle of the night dark black, but I mean a blackness that you can't even see your neighbor's house. Never experienced that before, but I saw it here in my own home. I looked out and I didn't know what was happening, and it was frightening. And it lasted for 3 hours. I don't know what was going on in that dark time, but my husband said it felt like it was coming upon the cross, like this darkness was falling upon this cross that this man Jesus was on. And then Jesus cried out, "Finished!" And my husband said the sun shone, as though there had never been any darkness at all. But the other weird thing is, during that darkness, there was also a trembling in the earth, like an earthquake. I felt it. My house shook. My husband said it was so strong at the cross that many people fell. I don't know who this Jesus man is, but strange things have happened. My husband's deeply troubled. He thinks somehow, just maybe, they killed the Son of God.
Come and see Jesus on his knees, blood like sweat upon his brow. Hear him plead for the cup to pass him, but to heaven's will he bows. Betrayed by us, innocent yet stricken, wearing thorns, how he bleeds. Word in flesh, standing trial in silence, banished to Calvary. Marvel at the Lamb of God, Christ became the sacrifice for our sake. He bore the cross, healing the vast divide. Pierced by nails, still he prays forgiveness. Finished, life vows to die. Water, blood, found mercy and love, where assailed souls can hide. Marvel at the Lamb of God, Christ became the sacrifice